إلى حضرة المصطفى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه وذرياته وأهل البيت أجمعين، ثم لمشايخنا والمعلمين أجمعين وخاصة المصنف الكتاب الشيخ أبو سعيد الخراز رحمه الله تعالى عنه، وثم لسائر الأرواح من المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات، شيء لله لحم. الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا حامدين حمدا شاكرين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيده. يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك الكريم ولعظيم سلطانك. اللهم فصل وسلم وبارك وكرم على سيدنا محمد النور ذاتي والسر ساري في سائر الأسماء والصفات، وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم افتح علينا فتوح العارفين وفقهنا في الدين وعلمنا تأويل واهدنا إلى سواء السبيل برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم انفعنا وارفعنا وشرفنا بالعلم النافع، وانفع به أنفسنا وأهلنا وأوطاننا وديارنا وجميع المسلمين يا إله العالمين. اللهم اهدنا بهداك واجعلنا ممن يسرع في رضاك، ولا تولنا وليا سواك، ولا تجعلنا ممن خالف أمرك وعصاك. وحسبنا الله نعم الوكيل، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. رب زدنا علما وارزقنا فهما. يا فتاح يا عليم يا فتاح يا عليم يا فتاح يا عليم، افتح قلوبنا فتوح العارفين. بك نستعين يا فتاح يا عليم يا خبير يا نور يا هادي يا مبين. آمنا بالله. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم، والحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته ومساء الخير. Alhamdulillah, welcome back, our good brothers and sisters, to another session, the ninth session. Oh, sorry, the eighth session of reading the book Kitab al-Sidq of Shaykh Abu Sa'id al-Kharraz, for which tonight we will be going through chapter 9, As-Sidq fi Tawakkuli, truthfulness in trusting. Or maybe we can use the word reliance. Down here they put the term trusting, or we can also use the word reliance. And the actual word over here is at-tawakkuli. At-tawakkul. At-tawakkul. So, Ma'asha Muslimin, the Sumratal Rahmakumullah, they will be going to be, inshallah, we hope and pray to Allah that may He smoothen this lesson of ours today. And we have so many pages to actually go through it. So, without further ado, let's start reading this kitab. وقال المصنف الكتاب الشيخ أبو سعيد الخراز رحمه الله تعالى عنه: ونفعنا الله بعلومه وأسراره في الدارين. أما بعد، قال الله تعالى في كتابه العزيز: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، فليتوكل المؤمنون. وقال في آية الآخر: وعلى الله فليتوكلوا إن كنتم مؤمنين وإن الله يحب المتوكلين. صدق الله العظيم وبلغ رسول الله ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين. معاشر المسلمين وزمرة المؤمنين رحمكم الله. Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned in the Quran with the first verse, فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Allah mentioned in the Quran, verily, in trusting Allah, it will be the believers who will be doing it. And Allah re-emphasized again in another ayah. The first ayah is in Surah Muhammad, and then you go to the second Surah Ali Imran, and then the second ayah, وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَتَوَكَّلُوا إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. And in God do you trust if you are believers. We start off by understanding the term trust or tawakkul. It seems that Al-Imam Abu Sa'id al-Kharraz quoted from the Quran to highlight a point that we need to understand, that trusting has got an impact vis-a-vis the iman. The believers, it will be the iman. The faith over here. But it's too wide. We need to identify which part of the pillars of the faith that we are talking about. And if you're talking about the pillar of faith, pillar of iman, we have to trust, to believe in Allah, to believe in His angels, to believe in His prophets, to believe in His books or His revelation, to believe in Yawm al-Qiyamah, the end of times, and to believe in Qada and Qadar. To believe in Qada and Qadar. And when we talk about trusting, which part of this pillar of faith are we relating to? We are relating to this in particular. So we have the Allah, the Yawm al-Qiyamah, the Qada and Qadar. And this creates the basis, the platform of a person to start trusting Allah. Number one, because He's God, and we're going to understand why we need to trust Allah. Number two, because there will be Qiyamah, there will be resurrection, there will be the day after death, there will be life after death. Hence, it is important that we understand that this life is temporary and this life is short. What more if, let's say, we are supposed to quote, if we are to quote the narration of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who mentioned that my community, my ummah, my qawm is given a day to live. A day is equivalent to 1,000 years. You know, a day in akhirah equivalent to 1,000 years. And Allah increased the day of my community, my ummah, by half a day more. So his ummah will get 1,000 plus another half a day, 500. 1,500 years. And now we are reading 1,446. And if you are supposed to add, that is by the Hijriyah, if you are supposed to add, say, 13 years prior to that, Rasulullah was anointed as a prophet in Mecca, then that will be 1,459 years. We round off 1,460, let's say. So that leaves us around 41 years left. 40 to 41 years before we totally used up the 1,500 in accordance to the hadith that some ulama mentioned. It is not authentic. It is da'if ala kulli hal. We are not asserting any ahkam and hukum over here. So we just take that as a reference and nothing more than that. But the point we're saying is that because there would be this life of 1.5 day is very temporary. And for a very temporary life, it showed that if Allah could manage the whole big, the day after, the life after death, what is 1.5 day in the counting and the measurement of Yawm al-Qiyamah? It's like, it's nothing. So Allah manages it. Last but not least will be Qada and Qadar, because we believe that everything has been destined. You know, and not only destined, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that how we are apprehensive. You know, even though that He mentioned الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ, not to know the value of those believers, they will be the one who attest to, believe, and have a conviction upon things that are unseen. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. But human being human, even though we are amongst the believer, you know, there will be a part of us who will question, probably doubt the apprehensiveness of ours, you know, assumption and whatever not. So not only that Allah says that He is the one who destined everything, decreed everything, He re-emphasized that. What did He do? He said that every destiny, everything that has been decreed is written in Lawh Mahfuz. All is written. It's like it need not be written. You know, everything can be just decided and executed by Allah, but it is written. It's like telling us that, no, I would like to confirm and double confirm for you that everything has been predestined. That it has never been that you thought that it is your effort that deliver, and that your effort will be the means to whatever, so it means the determinant to whatever that you aspire to receive at the end of the day. It is not. If it is such, if it is so, that everything can be quote unquote post-determined, not predetermined, but post-determined by our own effort, then it is as though that God is powerless, that we could intervene his irada, his desire, his wishes. Ma'ashar muslimin zumratal mu'min rahimakumullah. So it is very apt to say that for mu'min who believe in Allah, and believe in Yawm al-Qiyamah, believe in Qada and Qadar, then they need to have a sense of reliance and trust upon Allah. And beyond the mu'min, Allah is not emphasizing that, because Allah knows that to have this tawakkul, there's a big portion that requires one to be amongst the believer. And if among the believer, they manage to be among those who are trusting Allah, among those minal mutawakkilun, then they will gain Allah Azza wa Jalla's love. As how he mentioned in Surah Ali Imran, Inna Allah yuhibbul mutawakkilin. Verily, God loves those who do trust. This what they call that, al-mutawakkilin, those who trust. So Allah loves. So it is like you have iman, you manifest it into action, which is tawakkul. You will get in return, reverted back to you, Allah's love. And once you get Allah's love, everything will be smooth sailing, inshallah. So this is the first introduction that we have to understand over here. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in a hadith, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يدخل الجنة من أمتي 70,000 بغير حساب. أو كما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, 70,000 of my community will enter paradise without reckoning, without hisab. They are those who neither make auguries, nor brand themselves, nor use spell, but total trust in their God. Total trust in their God. Question now. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that these are the people that enters the Jannah without that event taking place first. So he's not narrating an event that has passed. He's actually making a premonition. Means he's making we don't call it a prediction, a revelation that something will happen in Yawm al-Qiyamah. 70,000 of his ummah will be entering Jannah, but he must have a basis for saying that, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what's the basis? The basis is because Allah Azza wa Jalla is the one revealing. And who is this Allah? The one who manages life. Life of what? We are not talking just merely of life of these 70 people. No, we are talking lives that is 7, what do you call that? Lives involved. 7 lives. 7, what do you call that? Platform or realm. You know, as mentioned in one of the book by Imam Abdullah bin Ali al-Haddad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. We forgot the name. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. But umurul insan. Ba'ala kulli hal, that Imam Abdullah bin Ali al-Haddad is talking about the various stages of life, namely the life of a person is still in a form of ruh, the life of a person while still kept in the rahim, in the womb, life of a person while he's about in alamul mithal, which is the earth, life of a person when he's transfer himself into the barzakh, which is the realm in between earth and akhirah. Barzakh literally means transition. That's the meaning. And that's number 4. And then number 5, life upon resurrection. Yawmul Ba'ath. We always mention the term Yawmul Qiyamah, Yawmul Qiyamah. Qiyamah is the destruction, there's no life. But life comes after Qiyamah, which is Yawmul Ba'ath, the day of resurrection. And that's number 5. Number 6 will be life in hellfire. If one is destined to go to hellfire and is destined to stay there forever amongst the non-believer, let's say, shaitan or whatever not. So we are saying that it stops at 6 realm of lives, you know. But among the believers, if they have the proof of iman, the iman will be a form of salvation, that after they have been cleansed in a hellfire, then they go next to the 7th life, the last stage of life, which is paradise. So all the way for alamul ruh ila al-jannah, from the Ruh all the way into Jannah, who's the one managing it? It is Allah. And it is the person, Allah, the one, the God, the Lord that actually manages him, manages the whole process of, we call it life, living, that he then revealed to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is what's going to happen. 70,000 will be entering. Which means, in other words over here, is that if we are to rely, would we rely on our own self, of which if let's say we are to exist in all the 7 realms, but we have no power except only one realm in comparison to Allah, who has the power to control all the 7 realms. If we are to rely, are we supposed to rely just on our own self, our own effort, our own strength, our own capability, which can only give effect to our own self, as compared to God, the Lord, who actually manages and administers every existence, every creation. So it is only an obvious answer would be to believe actually in Allah. So when Sheikh Abu Sa'id al-Kharras presented in second paragraph about this, he's saying that, okay, number one, it is important for you to have Iman. Number one, it's important for you to have Iman, and that becomes the basis. And number two, when you start to understand that, and then you start to place your what you call that trust onto Allah, then the question of who am I trusting? Who am I trusting? And we say that He is God who is able to administer. Oops. He's the Al-Mudabbir. He's the one who administers everything. Al-Mudabbiru. That's number one. Number two will be, as we have understood, beyond just being an administering the lives, the existence of mankind, we start to appreciate Allah's way of administering, which is He's also Ar-Raziqu. He's the one who's the provider. In what form Allah is all providing? In a hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, لو توكلتم على الله حق توكله لرزقكم كما يرزق الطير أو كما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. And he said that if you truly have the trust in Allah, He would sustain you as how He would sustain the birds. He would sustain you as how He would sustain the birds, which in the morning they go forth, they go out in hunger, and they will return back home. فَإِذَا أَصَابَهُ أَوْطَانًا. When return home, they return home filled, their tummy all filled, and what do you call that? Sufficed. In the evening, that when we return, it's all filled. Subhanallah. So we start to understand who we are actually relying on. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, in a hadith, in a riwayah mentioned, power and wealth go about seeking trust. When they have found it, they abide it. Abdullah Mas'ud mentioned that, you see, we talk about power and about wealth, go about seeking trust. The one having power, the one having wealth, seek someone to trust them. The one without power, the one without trust, seek the one with power and trust to relay and offer their trust. It's either way. So power and wealth is something that next that we learn about God. Who is God? The one who's ever powerful. Inna Allah ala kulli shay'in qadir. And who is our God? He's Al-Ghani. He is the ever rich and wealthy. Subhanallah. So when we have understood all these things, we realize that we have no reason right now to make an excuse in saying that, no, I don't wish to rely on God. I wish to rely on ourselves. Because if we are to deny the need to rely onto God, then we need to find an alternative that allow us to find something better than God, which is none in existence. Mafhum mukhalafa, the opposite of the meaning would be for a person who have understood that God should be the sole entity, sole avenue for trust to be relayed and surrendered to. and yet one relies upon his or her own capability or strength, or have trust and reliance upon other creation instead of the creator, then the person has oppressed his or him or her own self. You become minal zalimin. They have oppressed their own self. They have transgressed. So the transgression came about because of what? Because of the first reason, because they have believed with the iman, and they have recognized who to believe to. That's the reason why that's very important. To a point, that's the reason why, if let's say we put ourselves priority in front before God, we rely upon our capability before relying on God, we rely on our ability before we rely on Allah, some of the mashayikh would say that exists within those hearts shirkul khafi, subtle polytheism, subtle shirk. Because why? Because you have the iman, because you know who's your Lord, as opposed to someone who doesn't know Allah, as opposed to someone who does not have any iman. So what's the benefit? To understand the benefit, we must first look at the characteristic of what is this tawakkul, and which is important. Once we have understood that, then we can appreciate whatever natija, whatever effect of this tawakkul. These are the characteristic. Characteristic of tawakkul. Number one, now trust in itself is the manifestation in the heart. To know if that someone has what they call that tawakkul, it is inside the heart. It is similar like sincerity, ikhlas. Ikhlas is within the heart. Nobody knows. No other people except Allah knows it. Not even the angel, not even ourselves. We can't even verify to other people, hey, I am sincere about this matter. You can't do that. Only Allah knows when a person is actually sincerity, and making claim does not help anyone. Okay, that's number one. Number two, a person with trust is a person who believes in God. That's next, what do you call that? Characteristic. He believes in God. So, in other words, if you put it a direct relation, which is the higher goes the trust, the deeper goes the trust, the stronger goes the trust, the higher will be the iman, the belief, the stronger it will be. So it's directly proportionate, right? That's number two. Number three, the person with tawakkul rely on Allah. And over here, we need to put what they call that, some detail, which is alone, solely in Allah. Rely on Him solely. What do you mean by rely? To a point that he does not rely upon himself, to a point that he discard other creation. No, he put his hope, he put his fear upon Allah, and his hope and fear is not upon makhluk. That we must be able to differentiate from asking help. Asking help is different. Asking help is something is permissible in Islam, and Allah mentioned in the Quran, خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. Allah said that we are being created in a very weak state. That weakness become prominent, that weakness become apparent, that when we need, whether we know, we realize it or not, that we are asking for help. Either outwardly, either saying directly, I need your help, or indirectly, but we need so. So we say that that's the nature of being a human. Even to a point that we are lonely, we are asking help for company, or partner, our wives, our children and whatever not. Okay, that's number two, rely on Allah. Number three will be the person with tawakkul is taking rest. Mustarih. So al-mutawakkilun, al-mustarihun, they are the same. The one who rely on Allah is the one always in a state of rest, at rest. What do you mean in a state of at rest? There's a point over here, because the heart does not have any anxiety and worry. So we have a point, later we're going to come to that point. So all is at rest. Because why? Everything is managed. Our teacher Al-Marhum, may Allah give blessing and rahmah to him for all his contribution in passing down knowledge and in giving tarbiyah to this faqir. What he said? He said that Yazal Kifin, in attaining a perfect reliance, you have to understand how Allah's qadar and qadar works. How does it work? It works in such a way that in matters that human beings are incapable to materialize and manifest for themselves, Allah gives them assurance. And with that assurance, you will realize that everything is taken care of, hence you rest. Because you know that you can't do anything. You know that you can't deliver it. You do not know when you want to get yourself born. You do not know when you will be dead. You do not know when you will be resurrected. You do not know, so on and so forth. You just do not know. We do not know tomorrow what we'll be eating, what we'll be drinking, what time we'll be waking up. We just do not know. And Allah managed that. So we asked back our teacher, Ya Sheikh, so what are the matters that we can control? She smiled and kept quiet for quite some time when we were driving the car. After some time, he looked at us. So have you found the answer? So like, this old man, we are the one who asked the question. Now he returned back the question to us. And we say that, no, Ya Sheikh. So what's the answer? The answer is none. We are powerless. That's the reason the qadar and qadar is designed by Allah in such a way, encompassing every aspect of our life. Because we are la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, except through the assurance of Allah. So the term illa billah brings about new meaning tonight, which is we have la hawla, we do not have any ability, la quwwa, we do not have any strength, illa billah, except through the assurance of Allah. Except through the assurance that we're learning right now. Next, and he guarantees everything as regard to everything that is being guaranteed. What is being guaranteed? Not only the matters of this world, we say everything, seen and unseen. Why are you saying this, Sidi? Why is saying unseen is important? Because a lot of us, we tend to put our tawakkul in matters that are apparent and tangible. And in matters that are intangible, that we can't see, that we can't perceive, or we can't figure it out, has not happened, we fail to make our tawakkul. So how to get perfect tawakkul? In the matters of seen and unseen, we totally surrender to Allah. Not only that, they need to have some other characteristic too. What other characters that they need? They need the person who with tawakkul is the one also who's able to expel the heart from the anxiety. We talked about that just now. Not only that, and that person know that every matters that he is in need, why do we say that? The person with tawakkul knew that he does not know everything of what he needs of. Do you? Do we? We do not know. We assume we know, we assume we do, but we don't. What more to manage the things that we need? We need to get our heart beat all the time. But do we know how to go about doing it? We do not know. We need to get our eyelids blinking from time to time. How do we go about? Why is it for? What is the periodic time measurement of it to blink? We do not know how to do so. But we are in need in things that we do not know even that we are in need. A person who is having tawakkul understood and make a real proclaim and display that God is the ruler, God is the provider. Clearly. And he's not taking any discount for it. And he's not masking and hiding for it to a point that he is not threatened by anything, not by employer, not by the company, not by mass, what you call termination, not by what you call that inflation. No, because he believed God is the ruler and my God is the provider. As such that none other than God will be the one delivering, and none other than God could withhold what he has predetermined for himself. So if God say that you're going to receive, means you're going to receive. If God say you won't receive, means you won't receive. It goes to as such. This is what happened, narrated by the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Anas bin Malik, the helper of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he would help around the household of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a young chap, and Rasulullah raised him since young, and sometimes he did think the opposite of what is being instructed, and the whole of the household will be very angry with him, and Rasulullah will mention, let him be. If Allah wants it to happen, it will happen. If Allah does not want it to happen, it will not happen. Subhanallah. And hence it becomes like synonymous to the ahlul mutawakkilun, so that these people, make that like a maxim, that Allah would say that Masha Allahu kan wa ma lam yasha lam yakun. What Allah wishes will definitely happen. What Allah does not wish will not happen. Subhanallah. Because of the kind of trust that they have. Right. Once we understand now, this will be the characteristic of the mutawakkilun, which is quite important. Then now we need to know that how would we able to recognize the display of it? In other words, there has got to be sign. We are trying to recognize and identify a person having mutawakkilun. And we have mentioned that all these points above. But what are the signs in the act of tawakkul? Because we need to know that carefully in case we do it the opposite. We claim that we are minal mutawakkilin, but we do the opposite. So below will be the things that describe the signs. The signs of tawakkul. So what are the signs of tawakkul? The sign of tawakkul is the trust in Allah. The man who trusts Allah. 2, the sign of tawakkul is the confidence we have in Allah. The sign of tawakkul is the void of suspicion against Allah. The sign of tawakkul is the void of fear when we are accompanied by Allah. We know that Allah will never desert the person. The sign of tawakkul is that, this is the biggest one, that Allah will then gives him to possess what he desires of the world. Subhanallah. Oh, CD. So, can we say that a person who are among the believers and they are truly pious and righteous, and a lot of them that they are not rich and meager and say average, but very few would be truly rich. At the same time, they're having the high degree of trust and belief in Allah. Hence, we can say that those are the people that is being related over here. The answer will be yes. If you're supposed to describe over here, then it shall be explained in this way. If you do not have trust in the one who is managing your life, and yet that God is the one who is the bestower of every single thing that you possess, what's the point of giving you any more than just what you need? Because you just do not know how to execute, manage, and conduct yourself in proper to whatever in excess of what you need. So how much you need? You need $50 per day, you will be bestowed $50 and enough of it. But if you have tawakkul, if you have trust in Allah, you know how to conduct yourself and you know how to conduct yourself with the bestowal that you receive, how to go about with all these worldly things that is being offered and given to you, then Allah is rest assured, will be giving us with open heart to receive whatever we are supposed to receive beyond our needs. And when we say about that, the question will be, see, then what? How to conduct ourselves with all this bestowal as such that we can get more than what we need? We always ask that question because we always love to be rich and we always want to be rich. Even though we are now learning that to be rich, part of the key, the key to be quote unquote rich in this world is to have perfect trust in Allah. But yet still we just want to know, how to get, how to manage this bestowal, which is He does not save for tomorrow, except with the intention that the thing belongs to Allah. In other words, they do not put claim, this is mine now. I have no plans for it. I've got nothing for it. I do not know what to do. Then the tawakkul in him said that this is being parked, safeguarded by me, the one bestowed to me by Allah, that I safeguard it, that tomorrow I do not know what happened. Now, the important word over here is this. Literally, it can be the next day. We'll come about that hadith very soon. But figuratively, what does it mean? It means any time beyond what we can understand, the time beyond our planning, the time beyond what is apparent and what is current. That's moral. That's moral. Clear, inshallah? Tayyib. Comes a question. What if a person is in dire need? What if he's deficient, in a certain situation and whatnot? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave a prophetic guidance as such that one will conduct himself in a state of deficient, yet still fall in the category of zuhud, and not just get yourself out of it. In other words, ride upon it, while at the same time hinge himself or herself with the zuhud together with the tawakkul. This is the one that is mentioned to be the prophetic guidance that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is teaching us and say that, look, this is how you should conduct yourself, to a point that even in the state that you feel that yourself to be impoverished, even in the state that you feel yourself to be lesser than what you have expected to be, yet you will not be affected as how other people who do not conduct themselves correctly, would feel. Number one, as a zuhud, to practice zuhud, while at the same time now God is helping you that you're in a state of dire, probably deficient, lack of things, you do not does not consist in making unlawful that is lawful. And also the opposite. The opposite. What you like, you don't make it haram. What you don't like, you don't make it halal. Give you an example. You wish to attend a class conducted by a certain teacher, and you feel that it is beneficial. Who confirms the benefit of that lesson? Well, you can say it for yourself, but the one confirming it is Allah. Allah delivers. So when Allah delivers it, probably Allah would deliver it differently to another person. We don't take far. Between us, husband and wife, between us, parents and children, that we may assume that we are learning from a certain teacher, that the teacher is supposed to be good, that everyone would assume that teacher to be good as well. That teacher deliver beneficial knowledge, that we assume everyone would agree that the knowledge received to be beneficial too. But it is not so. It is not so. It could be beneficial to us, to another person, it is not beneficial. The teacher could be good for us, but to another person, to our wife, this teacher is good, but to our husband, the teacher is not good. To parents, the teacher is good, but to the children, that teacher, my parents' teacher is not good. When we have understood that, then who are we? In what position we actually force other people to follow suit what we are doing. I'm learning from this teacher, then, oh, my husband, you have to follow. I don't care. You have to follow me to go to that teacher. No, say that, but your teacher is a woman. It's difficult for me to sit down and stare at her face, you know. Similarly, when the opposite is, the husband said that I am attending this class, so you, my wife, you must come, and attend the class. That's a good aspiration. That's a good hope, and if it comes to reality, alhamdulillah. But you have to understand that in the bestowal of Allah, Allah decides. Allah confirms it. Allah, the one who determines it, that you can't. Okay, khalas. The point is, when you know that you don't have any power over it, then do not make what is lawful to be unlawful. If I'm going, you're not going, then you're not going anywhere. You have to follow me. You cannot go. Only I can go, as such. Do not make what lawful to be unlawful, and do not make what unlawful to be lawful just because you want it, just because you desire it. We don't do that. Because at the end of the day, we want to bring benefit to, and bring benefit to people. So, in wasting money, don't do that. So, abstinence allow us not to waste money, as how impoverishment assists in that matter. So, we say that, okay, alhamdulillah, if you are deficient, if you are impoverished, you are quite good because you have assistance of Allah that makes life much easier for you. But true abstinence, true zuhud is not when you are in a state of not having anything. The true zuhud is at the state of you are having everything. So it's like, wow, that's difficult, Sidi. Then we have to have the mujahadah. Then look at how Rasulullah SAW, steer the matter to make things easy for us to conduct ourselves. In a state where you have everything instead of impoverishment and deficiency, at a state of you are given everything, yet you want to practice zuhud, with that true zuhud that you aspire to attain, then shift that focus now to your heart to have greater reliance. Shift that focus. It's like this, you see. A person who's healthy, they rely so much on that health. They're so confident with their health, They forgot to be confident and rely on Allah. A person who's smart in maths relies so much in his or her smartness that they forget to rely on Allah. So on and so forth. It goes like that. The state that we have that wealth, it is not upon the wealth that we put our reliance, but it is upon Allah. So everything goes back because it is in His hand and it is not in our hand. Next, while at the same time, if some misfortune is supposed to befall upon you, what is misfortune? Means you're good and suddenly something bad happened. It's not that you're bad all the time. That's not misfortune. There's no fortune at all. Nothing miss about it. If you are poor, everyday poor, there's no misfortune. It's just unfortunate, not misfortune, unfortunate. So we say that misfortune means you have been good. Suddenly some decree of Allah happened to you, it befalls upon you, something bad happened. Okay? Manage your heart, learn to be rejoice. Rejoice of what? Rejoice of you just fallen to the ground? Rejoice of that ibatila, that musibah that happened to you? No. Rejoice of the reward that is awaiting for you if you conduct yourself correctly. If you conduct yourself correctly. That's the reason why you see some people, they react this way. They have just lost $50. Us, we would mourn and cry, on top of making police report, $50. But there are people who lost some money and yet they will say that, never mind, I intended as sadaqah. Oh, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. It is not just that they're having sabar, it's not a rida. They up one level, the game, and say that now that thing, I intended whoever to receive it as sadaqah. Because why? The one who takes that money must be the one in need. If they are not in need, they will never take the money. Right? So now they change it. It is a sadaqah. Subhanallah. The person is rejoiced at misfortune. Imagine the next time that we are sick, and our family members go that, oh, subhanallah, you are sick, that you need to go to doctor. We feel so sorry for you. It's okay. It is just my turn, to provide some salary at the end of the month to the doctors. It's just my turn to contribute some portion to the nurses, what do you call that, remuneration. It's just my turn to share the bill of, what do you call that, paying lights and water in the hospital, something like that. Change the mindset and start to be rejoicing, to be happy to whatever that is that's happening. Next, Bilal bin Rabah mentioned in one hadith, and this is subhanallah, this is just a mere example of how he actually kept rizq that is given breakfast, and Rasulullah sallallahu mentioned to him that, Ya Bilal, fear not that he who sits on the throne will suffer you to one. Did you not fear that this will wreak in hell? It's like, please do not doubt. Do not doubt. So long that you are alive, your needs will be met. But again, it's not needs, it's not wants. The one that desire can be above the mountain, on top of the sky, but it's not realistic sometimes. The one that we desire, the one desire. Similarly, also, Asma, Aisha narrated that I am not like Asma, one of the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Asma takes nothing. Asma, the daughter of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, who assisted Abu Bakr as-Siddiq during the Hijrah. So Abdullah assisted Abu Bakr, where in bringing a flock of sheep. Every time Rasulullah SAW and Abu Bakr, with their guide, this is one guide, and a camel, that they will cut across a mountain. Not far behind, Abdullah will bring along a flock of sheep so that it will erase away the footprint of Prophet Muhammad SAW and Abu Bakr's. And that's Abdullah. And in the evening, Asma will come over to wherever they are and bring food. Can you imagine not? Asma to go to and fro. This woman. Subhanallah. And that's one incident where she's being caught up, something like that. But it's a seerah, something for you to read and explore and appreciate, inshallah. And that calls for another occasion. Type. Asma takes nothing for tomorrow, but I collect one thing for another. I collect one thing for another. And that is, in other words, Aisha said, look, Asma does not aspire anything, what beyond current. But for me, she's trying to say, I aspire. I wish so. I would like so. And probably for this reason, Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha make mujahada. She started to give things, without even thinking, unless she's been prompted and say that by Khadima, and say that you should have left something for us to break our fast, for tomorrow. And it's like, oh, why didn't you remind me? Because if you don't, then I would give it away. It's a form of mujahada conducted by Aisha. Aisha is very young compared to Asma. Yeah, similarly, Masruq also did the same. I've never have more confidence in God than when my servant girl says that we have nothing in the house. Subhanallah, that kind of yaqeen, that kind of mujahada that keep to themselves, that they know that opportunity to be deficient, the opportunity of improvisement, the opportunity that Allah put them not having anything is a huge opportunity for, number one, to have zuhud, number two, to perfect their tawakkul. So it goes hand in hand. So they look at not having anything as an opportunity. Okay, that's fine. That's wealth, CD. But how about in matters that are not wealth, which is in matters of medical treatment? Subhanallah. Health. Not wealth, but health. So Shaykh Abu Sa'id Al-Kharraz presented to us there are three different group of people when you talk about health and relate it to tawakkul. The first group of people is that they do not want to have anything to do with the cure if they are unwell. They just exclude themselves from the process of, curing themselves. They're just being reclusive. So the first point will be being reclusive. They exclude themselves, they don't do anything. No, so they do not do any effort. No effort at all on their part. They abstain themselves from putting on any form of effort. They just keep quiet. But these are the people, don't say when they are sick and they talk about medicine, they have been practicing even in their daily life, not even to eat unless they are being served, unless they are being fed. What more when they're sick, so they can do so. That's the first group, But this first group that we are talking about over here, they are the God-chosen people, that Allah gave them the ability to do so with such a strength in their heart, and their numbers are few. And their numbers are few. The numbers are not many. How many people can be like Zunnun al-Misri? How many people can be like Ibrahim al-Adham? How many people can be like that? How many people can be like Fudail bin Ayyab, that he mentioned that since at a young age he started fasting, until fasting daily to him is like, it's nothing. It's used to it, so on and so forth. So he said that these are few chosen people, not everybody can do it. So that's number one. Number two will be a group of people who adhere to the command. What's the command? Rasulullah mentioned in a hadith, so he said that for every sickness there would be cure. For every sickness there would be cure. And to find cure, it is expected out of you, because you are sent over down to earth as Khalifa fil Ard, as a representative of God. In other words, you have responsibility. In other words, you have work to do. You have something to attain and present it back to Allah. And if, let's say, you meet with obstacle, which happen to be the test of Allah, Allah expects you to do something to overcome the obstacle, as such that when you pass the test, then you can carry on with your wazifa, which is to be the Khalifa fil Ard, your work, on the face of earth. So these people assume that understanding in their mind, and they conduct themselves by finding cure. They put effort. So number two will be a group of people who employ effort. Use whatever effort, whatever means, use effort and means to do it. Be it medicine, be it ruqya, be it even to a point of jiraha, operation. Ubay bin Ka'ab, vein is being cut, ordered by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is the second group. And they do not steer away from the first group, because these are the people who follow the command of the religion. Who followed the command of the religion. So the second group. So the first one is the first group, Allah has chosen them, so they just go that way. The second group, that they do the opposite. The first one doesn't take any effort, no means. The second one employ and use whatever effort and means that they can get. Yet they do not steer away far from it. What is the reason? Because they possess intellectual and spiritual knowledge, as such that their trust in Allah, even though when they use the effort and they use the mean, will not be violated. So they preserve their tawakkul with what? Ilm and what they call that, and the maqam, spiritual station, the spiritual knowledge, intellectual. So we have this kind of intermediary conclusion to have over here. It's like Abu Sa'id al-Kharras is trying to tell us, now, you want to get involved in asbab, it's fine, If you are sick, you want to go after medicine, no issue. You want to employ ruqya, no issue. Ruqya, we always assume that ruqya is always for jinn, and it is not. In a hadith whereby the companion of the Prophet ﷺ passed by a tribe, Arabian, in the middle of desert, and the chieftain's son was being stung by a scorpion. And they were asking around who could actually help, And the Sahaba mentioned that, I can recite Ruqya for your son, stung by a scorpion, and recite Ruqya, no. And then, but the Sahaba mentioned, but I do not want to do it unless you will reward me with 100 sheep, if whatever my effort I do will be successful. So the chieftain of that tribe said, yes, I will do it. So the Sahaba of the companion actually recited 7 times of Surah Al-Fatiha, blow onto it, or spat on the food, and the child is cured. Just cured, So probably you are sick. So instead of Panadol, paracetamol, ibuprofen, whatever that you can think of, probably instead of that, Ruqya, you can employ that too, no issue. You can do that so long that you have knowledge. What's the purpose of knowledge? OCD, does it mean that I have knowledge what medicine to use, what ruqyah to read? We are not talking about that knowledge. We are talking about the knowledge that does not disturb, violate your trust in Allah. What kind of knowledge? Like the knowledge that we are learning right now. The knowledge that I am employing the effort, I am using the means and asbab, and this is commanded by the Prophet, and it is permissible. That kind of knowledge. So your trust is with Allah. Whatever I do, these are just asbab. At the end of the day, the one who delivers it will be Allah. Alas, so they need to have that knowledge. And we have the third one. The third will be, and this is the one that Shaykh Abu Sal Kharras is, and he said, this is the as-sadiq. He is the truthful one. This is a kitabu sidq. So we want to be minas siddiqeen. We want to be among the truthful one. So he said that this person is the truthful. We are a person in conducting himself with tawakkul. So we have the two extreme end. One end will be totally not employing anything and just keep quiet and wait for things to change, or total reliance on Allah. The other opposite end is put in all effort that you can, because the Prophet, the religion command and allow you to do so. But the truthful man is the one that goes in the middle, neither denying any effort, nor put huge effort in getting cure. Just go in the middle. The person who, as how Sheikh Al-Arabi Ad-Darqawi mentioned, stop trying to swim and learn how to float. Stop trying to swim and learn how to float. So what will this person do? This person will confide in Allah. This person will confide in Allah. What's that? Istikhara, making his tahajjud, making his munajah, and he put his trust in Allah, tawakkul. He knows that even if I'm to employ means and asbab for that cure, it is not the doctor who cures me. It is not the medicine that cures me, but it is Allah. And Allah is sufficient for him to attain his purpose. Allah is sufficient for him to attain his purpose. That is him. At-tawakkalu 'ala Allahi la akfa. It's like saying that the tawakkal, shouldn't it be sufficient for me? Shouldn't tawakkul to the one who created, administered, shouldn't be sufficient? So I am relying upon Allah to decide for me. I'm relying upon Allah to decide for me. It is for this idea that some of the mashayikh recommended their student to perform istikhara daily. To perform istikhara daily. OCD, then we have to do 2 rakat of istikhara daily lah. If we read the kitab Risalatul Mustarshidin, they'll mention that there are several nawafil, supererogatory salat, that can be combined into other salat, and have the niyat goes together as it is being conducted. Give you an example. A person enters a masjid, and he prays Qabliya Zuhur. The azan just went off, and he has not prayed Tahiyatul Masjid. So he started his prayer with Qabliya Zuhur. And that is already considered the Tahiyatul Masjid to be inside the Qabliyah Zuhur. So what are the what do you call that, the nawafil that one can do so? Amongst which is, we just mentioned just now, Salatul Tahiyatul Masjid, Salatul Haja, Salatul Istikhara, Salatul Safar, and so on and so forth. But this is not a fake class, so we are not going through all that. So in other words, you can actually put all this intention into one. I'm going to pray my duha. Every morning as I pray my, duha may be a little bit too late, ishraq. Every morning I'm going to pray my ishraq, and in that ishraq, I put the jama of istikhara inside. And at the end of my prostration or after my salam, I raise my hand, oh God, lead me to the best of the matter. Allahumma inni as'aluka bima sa'alaka ma sa'alaka bihi rasulika nabiyyuka wa rasulika sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Oh God, I'm asking you what the Prophet asking. And I'm seeking refuge from things that the Prophet sought refuge. Something like that in a very general term. So you make istikhara. It becomes powerful. Comes a question. In such a matter, be it health or whatever not, will it be sufficient as not to look for these three things, as in totally not do anything, totally put in effort, or in the middle, we just allow Allah, to decide for us if we put in effort and allow Allah to decide, we try, but we don't put all our hope, that kind of thing in the middle, So said, if I do not want to choose all these three, can I just say, oh God, defend me, protect me from any evil outcome? Something like that. Oh God, just assist me. If you want to give me COVID, okay, God, just don't make me paralyzed. Something like that. Like how Prophet Dawood alayhi salatu wasalam would say that, oh God, you want to inflict me with your destiny, that you take away all my ability, do so, except, oh God, I implore you, do not take the ability from my tongue, because this is the one that recalls and remembers you. So can we do that? So we just say that, okay, I don't want to involve myself in the cure. I don't want to involve myself in any effort. I just want to seek refuge. God, protect me. God, defend me. Abu Sa'id al-Kharraz presented the matter. Now, this statement has got two. You have to understand. If a person comes up to you and say that, we ask for Allah as-siha wal-afiyah and salamah min al-bala. Always say that, as-salama. Nas'alullah as-salama. The Arabs, when you go to them and then you bring about not so good news, and then they will reply to you with two things. Number one, they will say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Miskin. It's like, how unfortunate. And there are people who reply the opposite. They will say that, when they listen to your views, that Nas'alullah salama. No, I'm asking God for salama. In other words, I'm asking God for protection. I'm asking God to defend you or whatever. That's how they would reply. So Sheikh Abu Sa'id al-Kharraz said that, understand it from two different perspectives, such a statement. The first perspective is that that person is asking God to defend him from what is not right, spiritually wrong, illnesses of the heart and whatnot. Like what? Impatientness, fretful, you're fret, whatever thing that is lost, or things that you that you get that you don't like on it, you don't like, and whatever not. So the term defend over here is Allah protect you from digressing in your state, spiritual state. Oh God, protect me in whatever decree that you have placed me, that I do not instead of regression going downwards. Tanazul fil maqam. So that I do not do that. That's number one. Number two, Shaykh Abu Sa'id al-Kharraz mentioned that defend, that protection, that refuge, probably, that it also means that Allah will defend him from whatever he prays to be defended. So whatever that he prays to be defended. So that, oh Allah, I seek refuge from you from COVID. At that point of time, COVID was a huge thing. So we asked, oh God, same time also no cure. Until now, there isn't any cure to it. So the point is that, so you start to pray, oh Allah, defend me, oh Allah, protect me, oh Allah, I'm seeking refuge. So this is the second one. second one. So Syekh Musa Al-Kharraz then concludes that as sometimes the man who trusts in Allah is defended, you have to also understand and have that tawakkul. Even though you are seeking that refuge, you have to understand that there are times he will not be defended. Yo, God, no COVID, please, God, no COVID. Tomorrow, COVID immediately. Tonight, you're praying so hard, tomorrow you get it. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. How can that happen? Regardless whether it's going to happen or it's not going to happen, because it's been decreed. Your job is to ensure that if it is to happen, then your trust should nowhere be impaired. It should not be affected. That you're asking refuge, you're asking help, you're asking for defense, but if it doesn't happen as how you are, we have to ensure that our tawakkul is not affected. Because if we do so, if it is affected, then the yaqeen to Allah will also be impaired and affected too. Now you realize, hey, I'm asking Allah. Because there are people, no, I'm asking Allah. Allah is not bestowing. No, I'm not giving. No, I'm asking for defense and protection. He's not giving any. They complain. Say, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. So he said, this is not the way to do. How to see all this thing? He said that, you see, even the prophets, they ask for defense. Even prophet, they ask for protection. Is it permissible? It's permissible. But there are times that whatever that they ask from Allah, that it is not given. Nabi Allah Zakaria, when he was being chased, by his enemy. And he commanded the tree, oh tree, open up, and for verily I am the prophet of Allah, hide me inside you. The tree split open, and the prophet Zakaria entered, and the tree closed itself. But his enemy saw, before he actually totally disappeared, and they found that tree, and then they cut with a big saw, they cut the tree, and was close, and it hit his skin. And the only thing that he made a sound of was, that kind of, because it's painful. And what did Allah mention? Allah immediately sent a revelation, Ya Zakaria, if you make another sound, we shall remove you from the list of the prophets. Did Prophet Zakaria ask for protection? He did. But yet it's Allah's test. Did Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasalam ask for protection? He did. No, but from a different perspective. Did Prophet Muhammad ask for protection? He did. But did he? Yeah, to a point where he need to escape and run away from the Quraysh. So what we are trying to say over here is that this is the important thing. Subhanallah. Which is true trust consists of relying on Allah, resting in Him, submitting to His command. So trust in Allah does not equate at the end of me trusting you, God, I need to get what I want to get. Trust in Allah means you believe in whatever decision He has made for you. Tawakkul means to believe that whatever He has written for you will be the best of the decision, the best of choice, because it comes from Allah, the best, and no other better than Him. For Allah, fa'alu lima yurid. He does what He wants, what He will. Can you see? So that is tawakkul. That is like our motto. We trust in Allah, we rely in Him, that we find rest in whatever His decision, and to whatever He decreed, we submit ourselves fully to it, because He is the God who does what He wills. Subhanallah. Make that into your bookmark and use that for your books, But it will be a good reminder. Yeah? Right. Ma'ashar Muslimin, rahimakumullah. But now that I've understood that, let's see the effect of tawakkul. What would be the effect of tawakkul it has on a person who actually employs this tawakkul in him, or embrace tawakkul inside his heart? The person who actually embraces tawakkul inside his heart has several things. Number one, he will not say, my need will be fulfilled. Never say. Why? Because we just learned Allah decides so, not you decide so. It is never that so long that you trust in Allah, inshallah it will happen. You know, some people like that, right? You know, you read this ayat, wow, subhanallah, then all girls follow you back home. But you must trust lah. You must have yaqeen. See, like, as though like with that trust, with that yaqeen, that you can bring all female back home. Female cats probably lah, you know, because you're feeding the cat lah. But no, they said that's not the way. We will never say we will be fulfilled. Never. That's why Allah does what He will. 1. 2. The man who trusts in God seeks refuge in Him, knowing that the matter will not be accomplished save the part of Allah. So in matter that needs to seek protection, in matters that he needs to seek refuge, he or she will go to Allah, because that's where the trust is. That's where I put the trust. If you know that you have this, what they call that, cable with the CEO of the company, if anything is to happen to you, who will you raise your complaint? Who will you raise and deliver your concern to? Who will you pass the message to? If not to the CEO, because you have a cable direct to him. Now we have a cable direct to Allah. Knowing that He is the one who accomplish and deliver, you need to go to Him and not go to any other people. That's number 2. Number 3, a person who trusts Allah takes it not amiss when anything is withheld. God, I've been asking you, oh God, for Lamborghini. But you never give me Lamborghini. You give me Lamborghini too. So like, God, what is this? You're holding back what I wish. Oh God said, no. You don't fret. You don't complain. What is being withheld, or even given, but something that is different, or not given at all. No. Number 2, no fret. 3, by his trust, that not seek to extort a gift. God, now that I'm trusting you, I expect things will be okay. You're demanding God, hawla wala quwwata illa. You should not demand. We are in no place to demand. This is not a transactive relationship. It is not as such that, God, I pray, hence I get this. God, I give sadaqah, hence I need to be rich. God, I have my tawakkul, then you fulfill my desire. God is not there to fulfill your desire. The desire is to be denounced, yet we ask God to fulfill our desire. That's the opposite things, right? That's number 4. Oh, you should not, because at the end of the day, we have to understand Allah is the one who gives and withhold, and it's not us to actually demand, complain, fret, and whatnot. We have to understand this. So whatever we have at this moment that has been bestowed, the bestowal that we receive from Allah, in terms of wealth, in terms of life partner, in terms of our children, in terms of the place that we stay, the transport that we are riding or driving, everything that we have internally, our health, outwardly we possess, nothing is being brought about by ourselves. And Allah forced us to accept this notion when He delivered us into this earth naked, without even one strand of, naked, nothing, no money, no nothing, no clothes. And to return back also similar naked, only to be covered by someone, and that covered is also shroud, which eventually will be decayed, decomposed, eaten, spoil, and you will remain nothing. Come to earth nothing, leave this earth also nothing. Allah's trying to say, because I'm the one giving. You cannot bring it about yourself, 1. You cannot give it away, 2. You cannot save it and demand it, and force it to be saved for yourself, 3. And number 4, you cannot bring it forward. That's number 4. That's the thing. That's the thing with this world. So when we understand that, then we start, oh God, if that's how temporary the world be, then perfect my tawakkul, ya Allah. Then perfect my tawakkul, ya. Tayyib. That's number 4. Number 5, the person who has trust in Allah is a person, consists of a person who is satisfied the person who gives up satisfaction, being satisfied with the material, because it's temporary. And the person banishes, the appetite, the desire, for things, or the despair, if not getting it, or despair with the creation for obstructing what he wishes. That's number 5. So he gives up. The extreme will be this lah, giving up totally on what they call that, on creation. This is what the Mashaykh mentioned, asking Allah for al-ghina anin nas. Al-ghina anin nas. We may be thinking al-ghina anin nas means that self-sufficientness, that kind of self-sustenance to an effect that we do not need to ask people for assistance, help, or reliance upon this creation. We thought that it's supposed to be in that sense. But if we are thinking from that perspective, we are just being materialistic. To be al-ghina anin nas in a perspective of tawakkul means I got no more satisfaction and looking forward to all this thing. In getting it, in losing it, in hoping it, and in relying on the creation. Everything will be creation. Everything will be a point of creation. Right. Number 6, the person who is trustful, truthful, mutawakkil, moving towards what is known in Allah's knowledge. So he will rely on what Allah has destined for him more than what he wishes it to be destined. God, I'll be working today. I'll be driving my Grab tomorrow, say. Or this morning, let's say before you start your car, God, I'll be driving my Grab today. And I do not know what kind of wealth I will bring back home. And I do not know, oh God, that you will be providing me with the amount of wealth that I will receive at the end of the day. But I believe, oh God, that what you give will be what I need. And I trust you in that, Allah. That knowledge, the encompassing knowledge that you have on, oh Allah. That if you are to give me $50 today, instead, yesterday when I drove my Grab, you gave me $100 because I trust you in believing that $50 is the only thing that I need today. That I am totally relying on your knowledge on what is going to happen to me, oh Allah. Oh, subhanallah. Can you imagine on? Can you imagine on that? Can you foresee the kind of rest the person has inside his heart? The coolness of his heart, in facing whatever, if let's say another person will come up to him and say that, hey, the world will be destroyed. They say like, it's okay, Allah has his plan. It's all right. Things happen. Hey, tomorrow you're gonna get fired. It's okay, never mind. That's part and parcel of life. It's just like saying that, hey, tonight you're gonna sleep. Because we know that, or not as we know as in we are yaqeen and confirm, but we have this expectation, it's okay, tomorrow morning I will wake up. We, all of us, not we only, all of us be fearful of sleeping if we are really confirmed not waking up tomorrow. Hence, nobody going to go sleep. Nobody going to turn in. Because we know that we are not going to wake up. Correct? But we assume that we will be waking up with that kind of confidence, that kind of quote-unquote knowledge. So we said, it's okay lah, I sleep lah. Because I know that tomorrow morning I'll wake up. So imagine we have a God with encompassing knowledge, managing things with his knowledge. Alimul ghaibi wa shahada. He knows things that are seen and unseen. Should we put our tawakkul to him? So we need to learn, move towards that direction. Move towards. See how to move towards direction? Ad-du'a, al-istikhara, al-haja. That is the answer. You don't decide except you make consultation. You don't ask for solution except you beseech from him the solution. Our teacher Al-Marhum Shaykh Abdul Maqasud rahimahullah anhu, he always mentioned, Ya Dhul Kifl, do not ask someone before you ask Allah. And ya Shaykh, don't tell me every time I want to borrow $10, $20 from people, I need to do istikhara. I want to borrow your eraser, I need to do istikhara. Can you pass me, can I borrow your pencil? I need to do istikhara. You look at your wife, and you tell your wife, can you pass me the spoon? I istikhara. And the teacher said, no. when you consult Allah, salat is one of the ways. The ulama do many different ways. Some ulama consult Allah through prayers. Some ulama consult Allah through Quran. Some ulama consult Allah through dua. Some ulama consult Allah through dhikr. Then I say, give me proof, ya Sheikh. Give so that I can understand better. Before you eat, would you know the taste of the food? They said, of course we don't, ya Sheikh, because we need to eat, and our palate, upon touching with the food, then you start to taste sweetness, saltiness, and whatever not. Say, yeah, you're right. So before you can actually eat, it will be you're accustomed to be saying the basmalah, Bismillah, Allahumma barik lana. That is your way of asking Allah, oh Allah, make the food good, make the food delicious, make the food nice, fill up my stomach, make me healthy, make it beneficial. But unfortunately, because we are accustomed to saying Bismillah, we never accompany our mind in doing so. We never accompany it with our heart. We have never accompanied with intention. Even the word Bismillah, we do not know what it means, because the sambal belacan, the asam pedas, the lemak cili padi is all in front of us. And we have been fasting, and subhanallah, must break fast early. This is sunnah, We forget all about this thing. When there are spiritual importance in everything that we do, it is connecting us back to Allah, seeking His guidance. Yeah. And last but not least, he is well pleased with Allah. Happy. And attain qana'ah. Whatever Allah has decided through him. Because he know that what he has obtained is from Allah. If he hurried the bestowal, is him. If he delays the bestowal, is him. Allah is the one who quicken it or postpone it. It's not him. So he said, okay, Alhamdulillah. Allah is the one who increases it or lessening it. He said, Alhamdulillah. Allah is the one who makes it good or makes it bad. And he said, Alhamdulillah. His shukr now has gone beyond receiving, even to a point of losing or not receiving the shukr state, because he's pleased with Allah's decision. He's happy with it. And at the end of the day, what will happen to him? What will happen to him? He'll be successful in expelling impatientness, trepidation, and has found rest in torment of covetousness. So he's no more in hurry. Everything must do. Everything must win. The must-win mentality must be first, especially when we are driving. Someone cannot cut our driving path. Someone cannot overtake us. If someone overtake us, subhanallah, we will get mad. Say like, take whatever you want to take . If you feel that this road belongs to your father, so take . No issue. The point that there's no point for me to be in a hurry. I've got to be relaxed. But see, in that case, if we are like that, imagine if we are late for our appointment, late in arriving destination. There's a difference between having trust in Allah to deliver you, and eventually whether he delivers or not is up to him. There's a difference between that and intendedly driving slow that you reach your destination late. That is a difference. But the tawakkul in you cause you to be cool-headed. The tawakkul in you cause your chest to be breast, to widen, to accept and to relax. And it becomes different. One of the companions mentioned in a hadith in narration, I entered the house of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I saw some dried dates. I saw some tamar. So when I saw this tamar, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then responded and said to me, what did he say? He said, take it. Khudha. The Prophet said, khudha. Take it. Take the tamar if you want. لو لم تأتها لا أتتك. If you don't take it, it will come to you. It is similar to the saying, the Western saying, if Muhammad never goes to the mountain will go to Muhammad. But we don't understand such a saying. Let's put the perspective. It is Prophet Muhammad, he himself said that if something is destined for you, it will arrive at you, whether through the means of effort or delivered without any effort. So the Prophet is saying that, take it. If you take it, verily it's really destined for you to receive it. And if you don't take it, and eventually you don't take it now, but later you receive it, it is also meant for you. But could it also mean that if I don't take it, means I don't get it at all? We say that, yes, it is also when it is not written for you. So the issue here is what? The issue is what is written and what is not. What is written will always be ours, and what is not written will not be ours. There will not be issue. There's a story that's viral, in the media social, how bin Dawood, in Mecca and Medina, back then, 20, 30, 20, 10, 20 years back, there's very few shopping center in Haram, except for the bin Dawood that people frequent there, and bin Dawood will be like jam-packed, with a lot of people, because it's the only shopping center that's, to get your stuff, and there's a story whereby another mini mart, another supermarket opened right beside it. And then the owner of bin Dawood give an instruction that all of the staff need to go next door to your neighbor and help them set up. Help them set up. So then some people comment and say, aren't you afraid that, it'll be a competition, and then you'll be losing the market and you'll be losing customer? And what was being replied by the owner of bin Dawood? Then he said that, well, simply like this, whatever that is written to me will always come to me, and he will have no power to take it. Similarly, whatever is written for him, it will go to him, and I will have no power to take it. So it is all written. If I am relying on what is written for me, why must I worry on things that's not written for me? That is the issue. We busy ourselves in worrying things that is not written for us. But Sidi, how would we know what is written and not written? That is the reason why we say we must move towards Allah's knowledge, and we will be at rest. Move along that direction. Consult Allah. Seek Allah. That will be easier for us to accept. Similarly, at the end, there's a riwayah that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was presented with ta'iran, bird, tawa'ir, the jamak. Tawa'ir means birds. We don't means in this hadith, Rasulullah sallam eat bird, different kind of bird. Type khalas, he took one of the bird and he gave to his khadim. He gave he gave one of these khadim. Down here they put maid servant. Maid sounds very feminine, It makes you giving you the impression that there's a female maid. When the actual text they put what do you call that, khadim, a masculine form of that noun. So ala kulli hal, we just want to highlight that thing. Now the point here is that he gave that bird to that khadim, his helper, to be consumed. But that helper kept it, and the helper brought about it, cooked it the next day, not that day, the next day, and presented to him. And Rasulullah ﷺ mentioned, Alam anhaka an taqba'a rizqan lighadin, didn't I forbid you to actually keep your sustenance, your provision for tomorrow? Subhanallah. We can just imagine how the Prophet in a household, his wives, his children, his khadim, his helper, all receiving the tarbiyah. Can you imagine that? Even to a point of provision, to accept, to receive, to conduct, to do with it, Rasulullah teach them and guide them, In this perspective, he is guiding, what do you call that? The khadim in matters of tawakkul. I'm giving you today, cook it today. Why you give it tomorrow? So his teaching is that khadim to have reliance. He is not talking about himself, because he gave the bird today. The next day he received a cooked bird. That is also Rasulullah rizq. But that's not the issue over here. He's not saying this, in relation to himself, the Prophet, but he's saying what he said with respect to that khadim, to teach him the meaning of tawakkul. Probably in that riwayah it is not mentioned, but probably it could be that Rasulullah sensed the unsurety, the uncertainty, the doubt inside the heart, Maybe I keep it for tomorrow lah. Maybe tomorrow I don't have any food. I save it more, so on and so forth. Which is a huge lesson for us too. You want to save? Remember last time we talked about this matter? You want to save? You can save, but you must have a purpose to save. But it is not about saving in any matters. Be it rice at home, you have 3 and 4, for no reason. Just buying for no reason. Just keeping for no... We can't do that. We need to have a reason to do so. Why say we need to have reason? So that we'll be able to justify ourselves when Allah question us in Yawmul Akhir. If we do not have a reason, can you imagine? Then Allah would say that, are you amongst the hoarders? You hoard things and that's the only thing that you do? You are in a group with the Fir'aun, Haman and Qarun? So like, we'll be fearful of that. We do not want. So we need a reason. As how the maxim, the qawaid, for every action, limaqasidiha. It is based on the intention. So every action will be ruled based on the intention. And it will be good. Allahu a'lam wa ahkam. It is all with the greatness of Allah that we are able to cover 9 pages or so within 1.5 hours. Hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. But we have a question before we go. Let me see whether we can answer it. If we can, hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Assalamu alaikum, Ustaz. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. What about tawassul in amal? Is it regarded as demanding from Allah? Tawassul is a dua. The only thing is that tawassul, you are asking with the honor of someone for that decree of bestowal, oh God, the honor of that person. Because if you just present yourself to Allah, probably you won't receive it. That you fear that with the state of iman that you have, the state of sinfulness that we are all in. If you beseech Allah, probably we are not deserving. So we say, oh God, bestow in the name of whoever. Bestow me in the rights of whoever. Bestow me in the honor. Oh Allah, don't look at me, look at that person, and what do you call them? Bestow me. Oh Allah, don't look at me, but look at my amal and bestow. Oh Allah, don't look at me, look at my parents, and fulfill. Okay, so that's tawassul, and that is supplication. That's asking. That's asking. Is asking also tawakkul? We just learned already. It's one of the 3. It is one of the 3. 1 is totally don't do anything. 2, totally do everything. 3, the one in the middle, the trustful person, which is you do, but you also ask Allah, knowing that Allah who manages everything. Fine. Is it a sign that we tak rida with our faith? It is a sign that you are complying. When you ask, not say tawassul, just by beseeching. You are sick, you ask, oh Allah, give me cure. What is a sign? It's a sign that you are complying with the Islamic law that allows you. Remember the 3 groups that we just mentioned just now? You do that, you believe in Allah, you are complying and you are fine, you are okay. But it does not reflect on the perfection of tawakkul as we have read the whole chapter. So read back the whole chapter and make your own big mind map how it's supposed to go to attain the perfection in tawakkul. Example, the mind map will go like, at the start, you don't even aspire anything because and you believe in Allah. You know that He's with all His encompassing knowledge, He decides everything for you. He has the best intention in mind. But at times, there are things that demand you, to make a decision, and you have to execute it. Whether to execute it and you aspire that you fulfill the demand out of you. For example, your boss say, submit to me the report at the end of the day. So you need to do that report. Who are you going to trust that the report will be completed by the end of the day? Your own power, your own ability, your own competency? If you do that, that will be shirk khafi. We need to rely and trust in Allah. So in that case, then the mind map starts to go, I have to rely on Allah. I have to beseech Him first. I have to ask Him first before I start to move and execute, and then as I do, and I will rely fully on Him, not rely on people to whatever the result would be. I can finish on time. I couldn't finish on time. I'll be praised or I'll be reprimanded. That would be, then, that the whole big mind map will give you a picture of full, complete tawakkul to a point that you hope to also attain the perfection of iman with it, inshallah. Allahu a'lam وأحكام. We hope that we have a very quick, and a good encompassing understanding of what tawakkul is. You have to read back again. That's how we go through and we select only all the important points and we highlight for you, to assist you in your reading, for you to read it back again, to make your own notes, because why? You need to practice it. And you need to understand first before we can practice it. So we hope and we pray to Allah that it has been a beneficial enough hour to manifest all those that we have understood into action. Let's end our session with Surah Al-Asr and Tasbih Kafar. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت وأستغفرك وأتوب إليك أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم سائر المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Before the class is dismissed, just a quick reminder for our poor self and then for you, our respected brothers and sisters. Next week will be Yawm Tasu'a and Ashura, the day, the 9th of Muharram and the 10th of Muharram, which is aspired by the Prophet to fast on both days. And if, let's say, for some reason that we are incapable, then do not miss on the 10th of Muharram, for big benefit comes along the way with the strife and the mujahada of that fasting. May Allah accept our strife, may Allah accept our sincerity, may Allah accept our truthfulness, may Allah give us the opportunity to see each other again next Tuesday. Thank you very much for your good listening attendance. Thank you very much for your contribution of the class fee. Signing off. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام. شكرا جزيلا أستاذ.
عفوا. شكرا للواجب.